SoFi stock has been on an incredible uptrend over the past couple of days. Let's talk about where I think this stock could be headed very soon and get into some interesting information about it. Make sure to watch to the very end of this video so you don't miss any of my analysis on SoFi. If you guys want to pick up a free stock with Public, check out our link down in the description below. Public is a great social investing network that you can join up and be a part of. You can follow other people on there, including great celebrities and people who we personally know and ourselves as well. And you can keep up to date with what we're buying, what we're selling, and of course our current thoughts on the market. But other than that, guys, let's get right into it. Alrighty guys, SoFi Technologies. Wow, what a last just incredible couple of days we've had with this stock, cracking over $17 on the day here, as you can see here at its peak, $17.15 of course, and about 24 cents up on the day at its high, a little bit more, probably about 25 cents, up just about 1.47% at its height, and of course finished the day off pretty much right at the cusp of $17 a share. Today of course is August 10th, just to let you guys know, of course, when this video is happening. This video will likely be going up on August 11th, just so you guys know. And overall, I'm still really bullish on this stock, guys. I love SoFi long term. It's one of my personal favorite stocks right now in the growth sector. I think they're putting up incredible numbers each and every time they do an earnings report. They're also just fundamentally a great company in my mind, and I really, really like them. Let's get into this article though that I wanted to talk about today. Why SoFi and PaySafe stock went up last week. Can it continue? So of course we know that SoFi and PaySafe are two pretty related companies in the same kind of industries that they're in, and we also know of course that SoFi is really kind of disrupting the financial industry as well as PaySafe. So let's read a little bit about their uptrends, what they're doing, and where they could be going. In today's video, I look at recent news and share some metrics that SoFi and PaySafe investors should watch for the during or upcoming earnings. Here are some highlights from the video. So we're not going to watch the video obviously because I don't want to do that obviously, but we will read some of these highlights and talk a little bit about them. SoFi is scheduled to release its second quarter 2021 earnings after the market closes on Thursday, August 12th. PaySafe is scheduled to release its second quarter 2021 earnings before market opens on Monday, August 16th. On August 2nd, PaySafe entered a definitive agreement to acquire Efectivo, an alternate payments platform focused on Latin America. The acquisition will accelerate PaySafe's expansion into Latin America, bringing more opportunities to its eCash business. The deal is expected to close at the end of August, and no financial terms have currently been disclosed. SoFi and PaySafe stock prices have been trending upward since Square announced its acquisition of Afterpay. The acquisition may have some investors hopeful that one of these fintech companies could be a potential target for future purchases. So that's a bold claim. Let's talk about why I actually kind of agree with it and why I think that there is some potential for that to happen. We know that SoFi is still a very new company. This is almost a startup, or pretty much is a startup in my mind. And they've been really kind of pushing forward in this industry for just about a year now. I mean, they only IPO'd really just less than a year ago, and have been doing pretty well since then. They had a large run up to like the high kind of 20s level, and that was kind of thanks to a little bit of stuff going on with Wall Street bets and some crazy short squeeze stuff going on, even though SoFi isn't even that shorted to begin with. There was some pretty crazy run up with that stock, but again, it has pulled back significantly since then, and now we have kind of stabled off a little bit. I talked about in a previous video how SoFi is now beginning to trade more on fundamentals than technicals or retail interest. This is a stock in my mind that is a growth stock. It's a long-term growth stock, and in my mind, to me, it's a hold. It's something that I'm buying and holding until the valuation makes more sense on it, which of course would be likely in the future. And ideally, in my mind, SoFi is going to take a little bit of time to get there. But what's cool about it trading more on fundamentals now instead of just technicals and retail interest is now it's going to be a lot more stable, more than likely. We're not going to see any of these crazy run-ups, like we saw with AMC or GameStop or SoFi even, for instance, where it runs all the way up to these high numbers that really just are not supported by really any support levels from a technical aspect, and the fundamentals just haven't progressed far enough for it to be there yet. It's going to pull back, and that's why now we've pulled back so significantly that SoFi is able to kind of was stagnating and consolidating for a good probably couple of weeks or even a month, and now we are kind of on an upward trend. Let's hope we can keep that upward trend alive though, because we did see some kind of recent price action with, for instance, AMC, where AMC was kind of in this long consolidation pattern for the last couple of days or even weeks, and unfortunately now AMC has kind of broken out of that today after its earnings report and pulled back significantly. down to the 31 level. But AMC is relevant to SoFi. I just wanted to give that as an example. SoFi though is now a little bit more stable, and it is now on an upward direction, trajectory, whatever you would like to say for it, and I'm still very bullish on it. Now, whether or not that trajectory is going to continue, we'll get into some technical analysis here on the last part of the video, but before we leave this article, I want to talk about one more thing, and that is SoFi's earnings. So SoFi has an earnings date coming up on August 12th. It's going to be after hours. That is basically, I believe that's this Friday, if I'm not mistaken, 11, 12. Actually, it might be this Thursday, if I'm mistaken. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, let me know. But I'm not going to pull up a calendar, obviously, right now. But SoFi does have earnings coming up. Let's take a look at its past earnings dates here. Still a really high buy rating, by the way, 1.3 on this scale on public. And their price targets of about $27.50 by the end of the year, and even the low is like $69.99, which it hit today, kind of crazy. That is what it's currently at. My bad. Sorry, I misread that. But here's what earnings have looked like. So Q1 earnings, this was what it actually reported, and I believe this is what was expected. And it pretty much, wow, it majorly disappointed that expectation by a lot. It lost more than it was expected to on EPS, and that likely caused a large pullback, of course, in the stock price. Now Q2, it's expected to be about just 0.6 cents or negative 0.6 cents for the EPS. Let's hope that they can either reduce this or maybe even go positive. Again, that's still kind of up in the air whether or not that happens. We're gonna be watching it very closely if it does. But don't let that get discouraged, because a lot of people let EPS kind of get in the way of things. And I think in my mind, EPS is not good usually for most of these startup type companies the first couple of years. It takes time for these companies to kind of get good and become better and get overall better numbers. But the stock price doesn't always necessarily have to correlate with the EPS. The EPS is a good metric for figuring out valuation and trying to figure out whether or not a company is underpriced or overpriced. But again, SoFi, it's in my mind, the EPS is not what I'm really focused on here. I'm focused more on the fundamentals and what they're actually doing on a day-to-day operation in business, right? And they're trying to kind of disrupt the banking industry. They're doing really well with it, and overall their platform, I think, is something that is really worth looking at and taking notice of, and I like the company. So let's hop into, just to finish this video off, I'll hop into some technical analysis here. Here we are with SoFi. This is what we saw over the last pretty much month. As you can see here, huge dip all the way down here to about $14 here. That was kind of the downtrend we were on. Tried to recover here, but couldn't. And now we're on basically an uptrend here, where we're just kind of slowly but steadily hitting up into these higher numbers, about $17.17 right now, what it's currently at. Again, though, what I don't like and what worries me more about SoFi is every time we've seen a large, significant push into these upper price ranges, we've seen a significant pullback. It happened right here when it reached about 16.77, pulled back. It happened here, pulled back. But here, we're kind of breaking that trend. So hopefully, this can be a nice curve in the positive direction, and it doesn't, hopefully, break that kind of trend that we've been seeing and go further down. RSI is a little bit high here, so I'm not really buying at these levels as far as planning entries, and the MACD is really just too close to call on anything as far as a breakout goes. So we're gonna be watching this stock very closely, guys. We always make new videos like this every single day, updating you guys with news and information about it, so hopefully you guys can learn some more. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for SoFi. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video like this. If you guys want to pick up one free stock in public, check out our link down in the description below. When you guys sign up with our link and deposit only $1, you guys will get a free stock of a great selection of companies, and you guys will be also part of a social investing network of great people where you guys can follow, like, and interact with everyone on there and talk about stocks or whatever it is you might want to talk about in the stock market. But other than that, guys, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm Kyle with Finance Bro. Take it easy.